Oh, I'm live. I didn't realize it. Hold up. Let me get this up. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk. Bitcoin Brandon here from Los Angeles, California. I was live and didn't realize it. Go ahead and kick things off. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share a suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to go into. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. We have Jamar Lopes, Lashana Robinson, Richmond, California. Jay Guillory, Patricia Davis, Stan Williams, Cynthia Hollerback from Phoenix, Arizona. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? Make a decision, stay focused, take action, and don't get distracted. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a couple, maybe 4 articles that we're going to touch bases on today. But first, let's look at the coin market cap. Oh, wow. Market cap is up 137 billion. That's up 2 billion since yesterday morning. Bitcoin dominance is dropping 50.7%. So we're seeing this trend where the altcoins are getting most of the new volume, most of the new money that's coming in. Bitcoin's at $39.67, so it's trying to touch that $4,000 range. Ethereum is up 3.38%. Ripple, Litecoin. Bitcoin Cash is up 8%. Binance almost 2%. Let's see, best performers. Crypto.com chain again, having a massive rise. Digitex futures, Crypto.com, Ravencoin, Qcoin, shares, Komodo. So Binance, Bitcoin Cash has cracked one of the best performers. Verge, 7.4% up. PundiX, 5.79% up. Cardano, 5.57%. Worst performers. Electroneum is down almost 10%. Wow. Qtum, ABBC Coin, Insight Chain, Wan Chain, PivX, Nano, Ravane, Lisp, Tether. We have major Tether news we're going to talk about this morning. All right, so let's see what article I want to go over first. No, not that one yet. Let's talk about what's going on in Canada. Quadriga. We've been covering this from the beginning. Let's see what new news is coming up. What's going on, Moshe Frazier? Tony Pinkston. The Quadriga. Scandal jolts Canada to regulate cryptocurrency exchanges. They already were. What more are they going to do? The infamous Quadriga scandal has culminated in the losses of $150 million in users' cryptocurrency funds. Now Canada has called for input on tailoring new regulation to cryptocurrency exchanges operating within its borders. Canada has held back on detailed cryptocurrency regulation. It currently adopts a wait-and-see approach and utilizes its existing securities laws and regulators. In this way, Canada monitors and guides emerging fintech and cryptocurrency businesses in the country. An exchange's entire funds vanishing as the founder dies without leaving access to cold cryptocurrency wallets could be a regulator turning point for Canada. With the Quadriga scandal growing and changing almost daily, Canada's regulators nod to building consumer confidence and investor protection in the press release issued today. Canadian securities regulators are seeking input on the regulation of cryptocurrency. Here's a link to the report in case you're interested in providing a submission. The Canadian Securities Administrators and the Investment Industry Regulatory Organization of Canada have jointly published a consultation paper with which the pair seek input from the fintech community, market participants, investors, and other stakeholders. Oh, so this is the interesting take. They're asking for the public's opinion on how this should be regulated. That's interesting. The paper questions how regulation could be tailored to Canadian cryptocurrency exchanges, though it also signifies Canada is continuing an open approach to a sector positively impacting its economy. Cryptocurrency exchanges in Canada welcome regulation. Louis Morissette, CSA chair, says exchanges too are open to the prospect of sensible regulation. Sensible is a key word. Platforms have told us that a tailored regulatory framework is welcome as they seek to build consumer confidence and expand their businesses. Andrew Kriegler, president and CEO of IROC, says there is a need to adapt to innovation in Canada, but also to provide clarity while maintaining said investor protection. That there's a clear line to draw between Quadriga and this important proceeding, sure. But among much else, it also calls out well-known pressure points with banking, insurance, and auditing communities. Maybe this ends up advancing those dialogues. There is a potential further nod to the Quadriga scandal. First on the list of areas to address is the custody and verification of assets. Then there are issues of price determination, market surveillance, systems and business continuity planning, conflicts of interest, crypto asset insurance, and clearing and settlement, the consultation paper itself says. Global incidents point to crypto assets having heightened risk related to loss and theft as compared to other assets. It also clearly states that as yet no crypto asset platforms are recognized as exchanges or authorized to operate as a dealer in Canada. So safeguarding crypto assets is a priority that says the paper may have been written with the Quadriga scandal in mind. First on the list of risks related to platforms is that investors' crypto assets may not be adequately safeguarded. The paper adds, platforms may not have necessary processes and controls in place to segregate participants' assets from their own. That's an interesting one. In other words, what they mean is this. The exchange has wallets with everybody who's their customer is putting their money in. Then the exchange has wallets of their own profits, okay, that they're making by charging micro fees on every single transaction. What they're saying is the company cannot regard all money in the exchange as their money. Although technically they control the keys, so technically it is their money, just in your account, but they control the key, you don't. What they're saying is you got to separate what is your money and what is your client's money. You can't count it as yours. So the paper goes on to propose a framework of regulation for exchanges. This may require such platforms to register either as marketplaces or investment dealers or both. The eventual framework may also mean cryptocurrency exchanges are subject to derivatives rules in Canada. Meanwhile, the Quadriga scandal continues. The multi-million-dollar personal trading activity of the exchange's co-founder, Michael Patrin, has further fueled concern over the missing $150 million in users' funds. Should resulting Canadian regulation be conducive to health of the sector in Canada, it will likely be welcomed by other cryptocurrency exchanges. As investors balk at the near $1 billion in cryptocurrency lost in 2018 due to hacks, breaches, heists, and other scandals. So we want to watch that closely. Canada is a little bit more liberal on this than the United States, but a case like this will force them to have to crack down more on it. All right, let's go into Tether. Tether admits it's no longer backed by dollars. Interesting. Again, for people that know how to use Tether, it doesn't matter. The people that are using Tether are not using it to hold their coins long term. It's not a hold. I want to wait till the price of Tether goes up so I can cash out. No, it's a hedge against the market volatility. The only problem is now if they're saying that they're not backed by dollars, now you're adding a bigger risk, because if you do move into Tether for that brief time, whether it's a couple of days, a week, or a month or two, what happens if the house of cards comes crashing down during that time? There's nothing backing it. This is why one project that I am really looking at is Meter.io, which is a stable coin that's not backed by any fiat currency, but backed by electricity. Why? Electricity is not a luxury, it's a necessity. The value of electricity will always remain the same regardless of what the economy is doing. People need to have the lights. Internet doesn't work without electricity. Blockchain doesn't work without electricity. So Tether admits it's no longer backed by dollars. There are a handful of feuds in the cryptocurrency space that have been spawning arguments since the immemorial. Is XRP decentralized? No. Big blocks or small blocks? Depends. And is Tether actually backed by dollars in a bank account? Doesn't matter. The debates over this last question have started again as the spotlight is back on Tether after recent changes to its homepage. Tether, definitely backed one-to-one, maybe just not with USD. Then with what? A recent revision to Tether's homepage has revised the claim that each Tether is backed by $1 US. Their homepage now reads, every Tether is always 100% backed by our reserves. Oh, that's a change right there, which include traditional currency and cash equivalents. From time to time, may include other assets and receivables from loans made by Tether to third parties, which may include affiliated entities. Okay, now, reading that as a lawyer, this can go two ways. They can say, yeah, we got $2 billion of cash in the bank backing up each Tether, but we no longer have access to that anymore, so we're subsidizing the amount of cash with maybe other crypto coins, maybe with real estate, maybe with gold and silver, maybe with loans from another bank that's buying our loans. That's how the federal government operates. You know, when the federal government goes in debt, they sell that debt to foreign countries like China, Russia, others. They buy the debt. That's what they're doing here. Or they can say, yeah, we do have the $2 billion cash, but we're expanding to include other areas to create more assets into the Tether space. And Guillory is correct. If you move your coins into Tether, you're basically flipping it into something that's not worth anything on in the real world. On paper, yeah, but how is that any different from flipping that into US dollars that can crash at any moment? Again, here's my point. I'm not a defender of Tether. I am a defender of what it is used for. And if you decide to use Tether or any of these other stable coins, there's a purpose behind it. I'm not selling my Bitcoin into Tether because I think Tether is valuable. I'm selling my Bitcoin into Tether so that I don't lose the value of my money and then flip it again when the bottom hits and I go back into the Bitcoin. I can't tell you how much money I made doing that. So here we got Tether. Let's get the other stable coins. So we've got, no, not Nano, Tether, USD coin, Kryptonics, True USD. These are other stable coins. I wonder, are they claiming or still say they're 100% backed by US dollars? Some is backed by the euro. Look at Gemini dollar. That's a stable coin. So if you're nervous about using Tether, then use one of these other coins. Gemini dollar, True USD, or USD coin. Surprisingly, with news like this, I don't see Tether losing anything. It's still at the $1 ratio. The worst I saw when it went to 91 cents for a period, and then came right back up over time. So let me continue. Clearly, this is a very different claim than the one that Tether has been making for years. What is a cash equivalent or other assets or receivables from loans? Does that mean that Tether is backed by an IOU? And if the debtor defaults, then Tether is no longer backed one-to-one? What if these other assets are cryptocurrencies and their price fluctuates? An event virtually unheard of in crypto, but which does occasionally happen. Will Tether no longer be backed one-to-one? Again, that's why I'm looking at meter.io. Electricity doesn't fluctuate like that. This maddeningly vague statement is just the latest sign that Tether is the stablecoin the cryptocurrency world is used to, not the one it needs or deserves. The same could be said about Bitcoin. There are other coins out there that do what Bitcoin wanted to do much better. But everybody is used to Bitcoin. It's the granddaddy of them all. It's the first. It's got name brand recognition. Doesn't mean it's the best. So why it's dangerous to keep your money in Tether? Even though it has been operating for years, it is still extremely risky to keep money in Tether. They are an opaque company which makes vague promises and seems to have no oversight governing their business practices. If they change the entire premise of their coin so that one Tether is not equal to one USD, who knows if they aren't capable of taking the money and running, or as it is known in the community, pulling an exit scam. You know who I want to hear on this topic is Da Vinci, because he has his vast holdings in Tether. And he's waiting for the market to drop to about $2,500 before he moves it out of Tether back in. And he's had it sitting there for over a year. He moved it all out December, January 2017 and 2018 into Tether. So I'm curious as to what he'd have to say about this. If you guys hear anything about that, let me know. Even if that never materializes, Tether could face a litany of other issues. Regulators could shut it down and freeze its assets. Oh, yeah, you don't want that. A bank run could cause it to collapse if it can't return investors' funds when they begin to turn in their Tether in mass, or any number of other problems that cannot be anticipated, but which could easily befall the stablecoin. Good morning to you, Lynetta. Alternatives to Tether. It used to be that crypto holders had to accept Tether's business practices and arbitrary changes to policy because they were the only game in town. That's no longer the case. Today, there are more than half a dozen options available to someone who wants to insulate themselves from price movements. Two popular choices include DAI, a decentralized stablecoin based on the Ethereum network and collateralized by Ether. It is completely transparent and anyone can check to see that. Really? DAI? Let's take a look. Die. Who are you? All right, so 99 cents, dollar to dollar. What is their volume? 21 million, circulating supply, 92 million. So it's probably they got 92 million of Ether. Okay. They're ranked 62 on the market cap. All right, what else they got here? True USD, which uses the same business model as Tether, except that it regularly opens its books and proves it has enough money on deposit to cover the coin it has minted. So if you are a little afraid of using Tether, then you can hop to True USD. They're a little bit more transparent. Whatever stable coin you choose to use, the best thing you can do for yourself and the health of the cryptocurrency space as a whole is to avoid Tether. Investing in crypto is risky enough as it is. There is no cause to make it even riskier. Yeah, all right, that's safe to say. Just don't use Tether. Use one of the other ones. No problem there. All right, next up. New Zealand. I'm sure all of you have heard by now. A huge major terrorist attack on a mosque in New Zealand. 49 dead, 48 more injured. Almost 100 people have been shot by a radicalist. white supremacists. So first and foremost, our thoughts and prayers go out to all the victims down in New Zealand from this attack. Unfortunately, in America, this isn't something new. We're used to this. But nevertheless, it should not be the norm, and it should always still be shocking. But what does that have to do with crypto? Because normally I would not be talking about anything like this on crypto, except there is a crypto connection. Oh, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong article. Here we go. There is a crypto connection. Christchurch terrorists invested and profited from crypto scam Bitconnect. It seems no matter how much time passes, we can just never get away from Bitconnect. So let's read the story. One thing I will do is keep politics out of it. Let's get away from politics and just have a human connection. No, regardless of your beliefs, your religion, your politics, the language you speak, Republican, Democrat, Australian, New Zealand, American, Muslim, Christian, we're humans. And any act of violence against someone else should always be condemned by all humans, even if it's being done by the side you agree with. So here's what happened. This guy, I mean, talk about being calculated. He even videotaped, live streamed on Facebook the entire thing. I just don't. The level of hate is just mind-boggling. But anyway, let's see. New Zealand has suffered one of its darkest days after a terrorist targeted several Christchurch mosques, killing 49 people and seriously wounding 20 others. The alleged killer, a 28-year-old Australian man, who according to reports says his name is Brandon Ivey, claimed responsibility for the massacre, which he live streamed as he gunned down Muslim worshippers. Improvised explosive devices were also found in vehicles near the attacks, which the New Zealand military has reportedly disarmed. 41 victims were killed at the Al Noor Mosque. 7 died at the Linwood Mosque. What? He attacked 2 of them? I didn't know that. 40. How the hell did he get from one mosque and then was able to get to another mosque? Again, I mean, this is New Zealand. They didn't expect anything like this. Another succumbed to their injuries at the hospital. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern described the killer as an extremist, right-wing, violent terrorist. She issued the strongest possible condemnation of the ideology of people who did this. What has happened in Christchurch is an extraordinary act of unprecedented violence. It has no place in New Zealand. Many of those affected will be members of our migrant communities. New Zealand is their home. They are us. The person who has committed this violent act has no place here. To those in Christchurch, I encourage you to stay inside and follow the instructions of the New Zealand police. The police commissioner will be making a public statement at 5 p.m. I will update everyone again later this evening. So the crypto connection. The gunman appears to have published a 74-page manifesto for the attack that is making the rounds online, and in which he rambled off inspirations, political and otherwise, leading up to this awful day. after revealing that video game Fortnite taught him how to be a killer. What? Fortnite taught you how to be a killer? The gunman disclosed that he has dabbled in cryptocurrency, writing, I worked for a short time before making some money investing in Bitconnect, then used the money from the investment to travel. So obviously he made some money off of Bitconnect. He reportedly used the profits to travel overseas across Europe, Southeast Asia and Asia, which may be where he became radicalized, according to the manager of the gym where the gunman worked. He became radicalized in Asia? I don't know about that. The returns he earned from Bitconnect were the result of a fraudulent cryptocurrency that at its height in 2017 was worth approximately $2.5 billion. The project, which was comprised of an exchange and lending platform, promised investors double-digit monthly returns in a tiered investment system that U.S. regulators identified as a Ponzi scheme. Okay, I got a fact checked here. That is not correct. Bitconnect never promised double-digit monthly returns. Promoters of Bitconnect did. No, I am not defending Bitconnect. I am a defender of facts. Let's get it right. Them pulling an exit scam is bad enough. Don't need to embellish anything else. Anyways, Bitconnect was shuttered in early 2018 after a chain of events that started with state securities regulators sending cease and desist letters to the company for fraud. This ultimately led to the end of the project and a worthless cryptocurrency. Let's correct something else. Bitconnect was not shuttered. It was not closed down. No government shut them down. They felt it was more profitable to pull an exit scam than to continue moving in a market that was on a downward spiral. I'm only stating facts here, guys. I am not a defender of Bitconnect. I lost over 40 grand from Bitconnect, so I am not defending it. You think actually more than that. I have 40 grand and then another, I had almost 13,000 sitting in the wallet that they wouldn't let me pull out. So I am not a defender of it. Anyways, New Zealand is known for being a safe and peaceful country, and the shooting has rocked the entire region. While Australia and the UK both have bans on semi-automatic weapons, however, New Zealand does not. It also rolls out the welcome mat for immigrants and refugees. The gunman came to the small island nation with the sole purpose of training for the attack, Times reports. He said he chose New Zealand because of its location, to show that even the most remote parts of the world were not free from mass immigration. Tarrant, who according to reports worked as a personal trainer, appears to have warned an online community about the shootings prior to his actions, which he described as an attack against invaders. A video of the mass shooting has been shared across social media channels, including Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, despite the efforts of internet companies to prevent the spread of violent content. The attacks occurred on a day of worship for Islam. Again, thoughts and prayers go out to the victims. This is not cool at all. Sadly, this is not going to be the end of it. We're going to see more things like this as more and more people feel threatened or afraid of a different culture than their own, of a different religion than their own. They feel that they're being invaded. They feel that they're being marginalized. You're going to lash out. All I can say is just be careful. Be very careful. And he was not radicalized by taking trips overseas using money he made from Bitconnect. These type of shooters are radicalized at home here in the West because they feel threatened. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because I sure could go on and on. All right, last up. Kevin McCarthy urges U.S. government to go all in on blockchain and make the government more transparent. I like that. And I agree. You need to go all in or be left behind. It seems as if the United States is garnering increasing support for blockchain technology in the House of Representatives. That is at least the case if the Republican House leader, Kevin McCarthy, is anything to go by. Could the U.S. Congress adopt blockchain technology? In fact, McCarthy recently made a passionate plea to the Select Committee for Modernization of Congress that blockchain technology should be widely adopted within the U.S. government. I agree. McCarthy testified before the committee on March 13th, and his testimony can be viewed in full online. The main takeaway from McCarthy's plea was that potential modernization of the U.S. Congress should be viewed as a window and an opportunity. However, McCarthy did not go so far as to suggest that the U.S. government should employ a public cryptocurrency network. Rather, McCarthy proposed that the U.S. government should develop its own blockchain. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. This is sending off red flags in my head. One, I'm excited. At the same time, that scares me. Let me finish reading this before I make a comment. Nevertheless, McCarthy ceded that in doing so, the U.S. government will likely need help from the outside, in reference to the many tech-savvy developers operating in the private rather than public sector. Moreover, McCarthy went on to argue that utilizing new technology such as blockchain technology could allow the public to get more ownership of their own government and increase the trust in public institutions. He went on to expand on this notion and argued for why he was proposing that Congress should adopt blockchain technology. He says, "What I'm looking for is building greater confidence in the institution that we have, utilizing the 21st century technology to make us more customer friendly, but at the same time give us greater information that can hold us accountable in this process." That is an accurate statement. This proposal actually stands a decent chance of getting support. I'm telling you right now, it's inevitable. But it is bringing red flags in my head, revelations. I'll explain in a moment. So this is likely a proposition which will gain public support. Furthermore, the political gridlock plaguing both chambers of the U.S. Congress does notably not extend to technological issues. As such, it is actually feasible that both sides of the aisle can agree on implementing blockchain technology. This is especially true, seeing as the U.S. federal government spends 80% of its over $60 billion IT budget on just managing outdated legacy systems rather than investing in new technologies. Subsequently, adopting blockchain technology could arguably save money, while at the same time improving transparency and efficiency. Financial organizations have already begun adopting blockchain for the same reasons, which McCarthy noted. Blockchain is changing and revolutionizing the security of the financial industry. Why would we wait around, and why wouldn't we institute blockchain on our own to be able to check the technology, but also the transparency of our own legislative process? What do you mean, check the technology? Okay. I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. This is good because he's absolutely correct. We're in a new century. We need to adopt the new technology across the board. Businesses are doing it. The Pentagon has already been doing it. People just don't know about it. Individuals are doing it. We're looking at our competing nations are doing it. They're doing it through the banking level. I haven't heard Vladimir Putin say, we want to put the whole Russian government on the blockchain. But here's the question. Is this blockchain that they want to create? Well, it's not even a question. I already know the answer to this. It's not going to be decentralized. And this is going to lead to the problem. The good is it will make everything that the government does more transparent, more effective, and will eliminate or minimize waste, because we will be able to see, wait a minute, what are you doing over here? Why is this? You're not going to have $6.4 trillion missing from the Pentagon budget. Nobody knows where it went. You understand? It's going to track everything. Here's my concern. This takes Big Brother to a whole nother level. I think I shared the other day, I made a prediction that in the future, babies that are born will be tagged the same way that they get their shots, baby shots, and Social Security number. And that tag will be connected to a national blockchain database where your entire life will be recorded on the nation's blockchain. This is what this is doing. Wherever you go, you'll be tracked. That's my concern. Privacy will be a thing of the past. Anonymity will be a thing of the past. And this is just another step towards the fulfillment for those of you that believe in how the book of Revelations is going to go down with the end times, the mark of the beast. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you take the mark. The mark is not going to be a physical 666 on your wrist or your forehead, but it could be a chip that you're not going to be able to buy anything without it. In fact, they'll get to a point where they'll make it illegal for you to operate without being connected to the system. They'll call it a security risk. We got to know who everybody is. We might have terrorists living among us. If these terrorists don't have the tag on them, we can't follow them. We can't make sure they're not going to commit crimes. I'm calling it my prediction. This is going to happen. This is the first step towards that. Again, I'm excited for the new technology because I know its benefits, but also as a Christian, it brings up red flags. And here's what I say to other Christians, and not just Christians, for those of you that are Muslim as well. You also have, your version of how the world's going to come to an end. But here's my comforting news for you. This is not something that you're going to be able to stop. All you can do is be prepared for it. Recognize the signs. Do what Jim Rohn says. Build a financial wall around your family so high that nothing can penetrate, that you will be able to take care of yourselves and survive, and then help others in the process. That the time is now not to sit on your butt and not act, but this is the time to go all out, because time is actually running out. Life as we know it, one way or another, is going to change drastically. The internet just turned 30. I'm 42. We will never go back to the way the life was from the 80s and before. Never. The only way is if we remove the entire electricity and power, shut all the electricity off, and that will push us back over a century. So this isn't something to be afraid of. This isn't something, oh, Brandon's speaking doom and gloom, revelations of the end times. No, it's actually something to kind of be rejoiced that we're here. But take action so that you're ready for it. You're prepared. You're taking care of your family. Be passionate about something. But the geek in me is excited by this. This is good news, especially for the entire crypto industry. And that the United States is finally taking something serious and not letting our competitors lead the way. China, Iran, Russia. We lead the way on this. We're Americans. All right, with that, that is all the news for today. I hope you learned something new. As always, that's the point. This is Friday, so there will not be a late night crypto talk tonight. I'll be stuffing my face with Wingstop. And I will be back tomorrow morning for early morning crypto talk. The count, I can't say that. The countdown is on. We have a lot coming in the KGX space. You guys may think things are quiet, but it's for a reason. One thing is we're very big on compliance. I'm going to give you an example because someone asked me, how come we haven't said anything? We learned our lesson 1 year ago, right when before we launched KGX. We hadn't even signed anybody up yet. We weren't even in pre-launch yet. But I started doing a lot of calls, getting everybody ready, getting excited, getting ramped up, getting the momentum up. And you know what happened? Especially because we're in the crypto space, that clown Oz from behind MLM, the site, because some of you keep sending me the same freaking article that's old, wrote up an article based on a conference call that I hosted, and ripped us to shreds on information that wasn't even true. And then you know what you people did? You ran around and said, oh, KGX is a scam. Look at what was written about them. We hadn't even had a website yet. So we want to make sure that we are safety first, compliant with everything first. And then you'll hear about it. But it is exciting times. I've been quiet the last couple of months. Yeah, I do my crypto talks, but that's habit. That's habitual. You haven't seen me in my swimming pool, doing Facebook Lives lately, besides the fact that it's been cold. But that is about to kick up big time. I'm giving it the next 30 days. You are going to see. Here's something else too. I have never put my foot on the gas yet for KGX. We were in pre-launch, but that day is upon us. And then it's game over. So those of you that's worried about what's going on behind the scenes, all you need to do right now is focus on your education. Stay plugged into what you do see going on. Focus on the things that you can control. Save up your money so that you'll have money to put into the crypto desk, trading desk, and the Forex trading desk, and other things that we're about to come out with. If anybody asks about the SIM cards, I haven't spoke about the SIM cards. Ladies, the SIM cards is not KGX. That's MCS. That's completely separate. And there's a new announcement as far as their unlimited 4G that's about to drop. When that happens, you'll start hearing me speak more about it. I only spoke about it earlier was because they had a special to get the SIM cards for $300. And it was a time period. That's the only reason why I spoke on it. No cell phone bill for 5 years. You only had to pay $300 one time. That's a freaking no-brainer. The cost right now is like $578. Is it $570? Let me yeah, I haven't checked lately. Go5mobile.com. Let's see, what is that price? Unlimited talk, text, and data for 5 years. $589. So the price is $589. If you want to keep your same number, $108. You see the asterisk on the data part? It is at 4G until you use up your data. It's 2 gigabytes. Then it throttles down. Well, they're about to have the announcement that it won't throttle down. It will stay and remain at 4G. When that happens, then you'll start hearing me speak on it more. We are in negotiations still because I am very, very big on the cell phone space. There's going to be a cell phone wars coming to the crypto space. And KGX is working to be right in the middle of it. So they're in negotiations with 2 companies right now for that to happen. Regardless, I'll be involved in it one way or another. That's just me personally. But we want to bring it within KGX. So by the next couple of months, you'll be able to see we now have a platform that you can allow your money to work for you. Not completely set it and forget it. There will still be some amount of work required on your part, like logging into the website and pressing a button. But other than that, you let your money work for you legally. What we planned for KGX to be from the beginning, we finally now have. One of the things, those things I keep saying, stay focused, plugged in. Use this time to build your knowledge and stack up your money. Share the education. People need this. Here's another thing that's going to happen as well. As the price of Bitcoin in the crypto market starts to rise again, like it's doing right now, when you see this number start getting back to the $6,000, $7,000 range, your friends and family and associates are all going to be talking about how can I get involved in crypto? It's going to be like 2017 all over again. And guess what? They're going to need somebody to talk to. They're going to need an expert. That expert can be you. That is when you're going to see a huge run up to make money off of selling the education platform. Right now, you guys are the ants getting prepared for the harvest. Start now. So that, you guys have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Next week, I will say this. Next week, I will get further instructions from the higher ups on what I am allowed to say and begin with. So next week, we might see a shift because today is the 15th. So we're getting closer to the end of the month, and I am like a caged animal right now, ready to just explode. So it's coming. Dang, I don't like saying that. Get ready. I don't like saying that. Anyways, you guys have a great weekend if I don't hear from you or you don't hear from me. But I will be back tomorrow morning. God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.